Welcome to the Global Queens podcast, Resilient Voices International Women's Day podcast series special episode. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Ebi Sheila Diete-Spiff, a speaker, author, and self-love strategist. Ebi's journey is a powerful evolution from striving to prove her worth to reclaiming it. And now, helping others lead from a place of presence, wholeness, and truth. In this conversation, we'll explore what it means to lead fearlessly without self-betrayal. Ebi, it's such a privilege to have you here.
Thank you. The privilege to be here.
Thank you. Your topic speaks powerfully about moving from moving from to presence. Can you share the moment you realized you were living in a state of proving and how that awareness changed you?
Okay, so my first realization that I was living in a state of proving is when I noticed that I was exhausted. Actually, it was even more than exhaustion. I would say it's kind of like burnout. So despite being successful at what I did, I was feeling that exhaustion really severely that I never felt before. So on the outside, I was doing the right things. I was showing up. I was achieving what I meant to do. Um, I was dependable. I was strong. I was capable. But then on the inside, internally, there was this constant pressure of, am I good enough to justify my value through output? So like through performance, like, am I doing more? Will I be valued? So an external validation. So the wake up call moment came during a period of illness and burnout. Like I said, I had autoimmune problems, and also I had problems with my spine. My body was quietly saying, you cannot continue living like this. You've got to change something. I saw clarity that so much of my drive wasn't coming from purpose. It wasn't coming from purpose. It was coming from fear. So fear of being seen as not good enough, fear of being replaced, fear of being unworthy without the performance that I thought I had to do. So that awareness changed everything. So I began to ask the question, sorry, just got a bit of allergy. How do I prove myself today? But so I changed that, I reframed that. What does it look like? So what does it look like to be present and be fruitful today instead of how do I prove myself today? Because that's all external. So the shift didn't make me less effective. It just made me more aware. It made me more grounded, more impactful, and more at peace from within. And I think when you feel that way, your performance tends to increase. So you're present as opposed to acting for external validation.
Wow. You mentioned fear, and it's completely one of those things that can hold us back heavily. Thanks for touching on that. And you speak about reclaiming worth rather than constantly trying to prove it. What is the difference, and what was the first step you took to reclaim your own worth?
Okay, something I said, I can only talk from a female perspective. Because personally, so I wrote a book, Reclaiming Your Worth.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah. So, first of all, I think we always taking care of other people, our children, our animals, our plants. We're always giving, giving, giving. Um, so, I think we've got to a stage in society where we feel that our true selves have been taken away from us. But my belief is that we've actually given it away. We've given it away because maybe naturally we are just kind of mothers of the earth. So this is not about childbearing. This is just about I feel it's nature. So you
Yeah.
find that, and it's generalizations because obviously there are people who are on the other extreme of the curve. But generally, we always want to give. We always want to do things for other people, and we want to please, which is not always a good thing. The people pleasing thing, and so I think from my perspective and from what I've learned and from my years on this planet, is that we proving when we try to prove it's exhausting because it's not really us. But when you go within and you find out your true self-worth and find out who you really are, and it becomes you, you find out that the giving, it just flows and becomes easier. So we're not looking to be praised for what we do. We're just doing, we're just being, and we're just acting. And so I think there's a term I have in my book, and I know other people use the term, but I call it the polished mask. So on the outside, we're competent, we're capable, we're perfect, good at what we do. But in the inside, we're thinking, oh, do I deserve to be here? So the imposter syndrome comes in and says, maybe I don't deserve to be, I don't have enough qualifications or I don't have enough experience. Even though people are telling you that it's really great and what they've gained, but you're still having doubt for yourself. So that self-trust for self is not there. So I feel that when we reclaim our self-worth and who we truly are, and that just vanishes. And yeah, I might be work in progress, but if you look back even a month, even a few weeks, you find out that fear starts to disappear because you just go and because you're present and you're you and it's natural for you, you're fine. And if it doesn't work out, maybe that's the wrong environment for you and you accept it and move on to the right environment.
I just love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you teach that fearless leadership begins with internal safety. How can women begin cultivating that inner safety, especially in demanding or unsupportive environments?
Okay, so there's a friend of mine and she teaches about the body. And I strongly believe about we get our signals from our bodies. But sometimes we're so much in our heads, we miss the signals in our bodies. And safety comes from within. So are we feeling safe within? So are you feeling like people pleasing? You're not feeling safe. Are you feeling like you want to avoid conflict? You're not feeling safe. Are you feeling sorry, the words have just gone over. But it's about giving yourself that permission
Yeah.
internally to listen to yourself, to listen to how your body is acting. Because if you're in a situation that you say in a meeting situation and you're feeling scared to maybe speak up, listen to your body, you know, take a deep breath, and you get clarity
Hmm.
and you go ahead. You're not looking to justify because something that I used to do a lot, which I'm now trying to stop. It's like overthinking. So you're overthinking things.
Yes.
Not only are you overthinking, you're also looking to justify every sentence you make. Rather than just make the sentence, be clear on what you want to say, make the sentence. You don't have to justify it. Because when you start justifying it, you're having self-doubt. Because you're
Yeah,
having self-doubt about what you're saying, other people around you are kind of thinking, does she really know what she's talking about?
exactly.
So we don't realize because we're energetic beings, we're radiating that energy from
Yeah.
within. So that self-worth and that inner safety is so important. And if you don't feel, so you look inside, you feel safe inside, and the environment is not very safe, maybe it's something that you can address because people might not realize that you're feeling unsafe. But if you're calm and the way you do it, you can address it in a professional way rather than in an emotional way. Because when we get emotional as human beings generally, we tend to address things in the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's like being calm, noticing where things are tightening in your bodies.
Yeah.
Um, so inner safety isn't created by controlling your environment. It's created by building self-trust. So from within.
Mm.
So when you know you will not betray yourself to keep the peace or to earn approval, because sometimes you betray yourself because you just want to keep the peace.
Yeah.
Or you want to the fear loses its grip. It's fear that holds us back. And
Yeah.
once you're able to deal with that fear, you find out that things just flow. So small, consistent acts of self-honoring
Hmm.
creates safety over time. So it might not happen overnight.
Yeah.
And the thing is, always have compassion for yourself. So you might mess up the first time, but that's okay because I see mistakes as an opportunity for growth. Some people think mistakes, we have learned to see them as a negative word, but it's not actually not a negative word. It only becomes negative when you keep making the same mistakes over and over again. and you don't learn from them.
Yeah, thank you. You've shared so much about inner safety and how you can address, the fear from within, right? You've shared so much, all compressed and still connected to each other. Thank you. You've said that when being seen no longer feels like a threat, you no longer need to prove your worth. You embody it. What is one small practical step women can take to feel safer and more confident in being visible?
Okay, so fearless leadership naturally emerges as we progress in self-awareness. So one powerful thing, and what I've chosen is this, obviously there's loads, is the over-explaining, because that's something that I still do a tiny little bit. So over-explaining is a sign of fear. Fear of being misjudged, being misunderstood, or even dismissed. The thing is that practice stating your thoughts. Be confident and clear at the way you state it, and allowing them to stand without justification. So state what you want to say, but don't justify it. Just state it. You don't need to justify. And over time, you start to gain more confidence. The fear starts to go. You feel better. It might not happen overnight, but it will happen. If you look back a month, you kind of see the difference. So visibility becomes safer when you realize that you don't need to perform. You see, you don't need to perform clarity or perfection to be worthy. Because that's another thing as women. And I was mentoring this girl, and she was saying about how men take the top positions, even though it's a female dominated area. And I said, you know what? If a man feels he can do 10% of the job, he's going to think, oh, well, if I can do 10%, I can do 100%. And he'll go for the promotion. And we think we have to get 100% to be perfect. No, you don't have to be perfect. Now, each time, uh, it, so presence, not polish, is what we need to respond to. So each time we allow ourselves to be seen as we are, without editing ourselves for comfort, so it all depends on the nervous system. Our nervous system learns. So it learns that I am safe to exist here. And as we do it more repetitively, our nervous system gets to believe that, and it starts to act that way. And the opposite is true. So if we're always in fear, so we get worse and worse. So like they say, self-fulfilling prophecy. So our power is all in our hands. And if we want that power, we need to reclaim that power, because it's not something we have to learn. It's something that's there. We have just forgotten, and we just need to take it back.
Wow. Thank you. When you talk about not over explaining yourself, oh dear, I think I fall into that category. So, yeah, it's really helpful to have you share that. And what does it truly mean to lead from presence rather than proving? And how does that transform not only your leadership, but your life as well?
So leading from presence means you're no longer driven by fear. It means you're no longer driven by fear of failure, because that's a big
Yeah.
thing. Fear of rejection, which was a big one for me. Fear of inadequacy, because if you think, okay, maybe that person has a higher qualification than me, so you kind of think you're not good enough because somebody else is better. But you might be, even though you have less, you might be equally as good or even better, because we're all unique. You lead from truth, so you're leading from truth instead of from tension. So when you lead from presence, you don't need to dominate at all, and you don't need to overfunction. You just listen deeply and really listen to your body and where your body is telling you things. Because one gift that we have, and I think this is particular to women, is the gift of intuition. It's really very strong. I don't know why it's stronger in most women, but it is really strong. Maybe, I don't know. I can't really explain the different theories around that. But when we listen deeply to what our body is telling us and how we're feeling, because if you're feeling uncomfortable, like you're shallow breathing and sweating or whatever, jaws clenched and stuff, we need to listen and calm the nervous system down. When you calm everything down, usually deep breathing helps that. You calm it down, you're able to have the clarity. So you can respond it intentionally. Yeah. So simply by being anchored, you're creating the safety for others. So you're able to collaborate. So this kind of leadership transforms cultures. And it's something we have to, I think, start implementing, because we've been brought up to believe differently. And if we start as individuals, start doing these things, it helps. And it replaces urgency with clarity, it replaces control with trust, burnout with sustainability. And most importantly, it gives us the permission to stop proving and start being. Stop proving and start being. Just be you. And I think a lot of women get, either say, oh, women, we get too aggressive, or maybe we break down and cry. Yeah. So what? Just, it doesn't matter what people think. Just be,
Yeah.
and it will happen. Because I think we worry too much about performance, and then so what other people are thinking of us, and so then that affects how we actually act. So be present, be in the moment, and deliver what you need to deliver presently. What you need to say, deliver it, and stop being in your head and just thinking about, come out of performance into
Yeah.
presence. Live in
Wow.
the now.
Live in the now. That's absolutely right and true, and a good way to wrap this up as well. Thank you so much for sharing such profound wisdom, Ebi.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate being here.
Yeah. Your reminder that fearless leadership begins with internal safety and self-trust is truly transformational. You've also showed us that when we stop proving and start being, everything shifts. To our listeners, thank you for being part of this powerful conversation. And until next time, continue to honor your worth and lead from your truth. Thank you.
Thank you.